And so if you want to do the right thing and you want to have a broad and compelling message, you need to figure out economic populism. You need to get on board with that concept. And I'm not saying make it part of your speech and say, I'm an economic populist, but start talking about the things that make up an economic populist agenda, because that's where people need help. They need help with healthcare. They need help with childcare. They
Correct.
need somebody that's
Livable
looking
wage,
out. Yeah, a livable, sustainable minimum wage that, hey,
housing.
that gets the government out of subsidizing corporations too. Because if you let them pay somebody 7.50 an hour, then that person needs support from the government to make ends meet. And you're just pushing the burden onto the taxpayer, as opposed, if you pay that person 25 bucks an hour and they can make things go at that level, then then they're going to be able to carry their own water and the problem is solved. If you're talking about, I mentioned childcare, but there's just, like, if you look at what matters to people, what helps them in terms of their wallet or their pocketbook, you're talking about these issues. These are
Correct.
the things that people really care about. Do I wish that they cared more about democracy and,
And
all of the stuff
fairness,
that we talked
justice,
about?
and equality for all.
Sure.
Sure.
But if you want fairness and equality
Right.
and economic justice, then
Right.
start with these implementable
Please
policies.
bring
You
us up.
know, Mamdani's doing it in New York City
Correct.
in cooperation with Governor Hochul statewide. New York is moving toward child
Child
care
care.
down to the age of 2, to
Right.
help people, you
Correct.
know, have a family, but also be in the workforce. These are the so-called kitchen table issues
Right.
that will resonate
Yes.
with a broad section of the country, and your policies need to reflect that. So if you think for a second that just fighting, telling people that you're on their side because you're fighting for these healthcare subsidies on the ACA, you're lying. You're lying to the American people and you're lying to the base. And that's why the Democratic Party is so
Is where it
fucking
is.
unpopular,
Right.
because you're just trying to perpetuate a system that is corporate welfare to begin with. And is it better than nothing? Yeah. So that's the debate, and so I'm not against extending the subsidies, but that needs to be a very brief
An off ramp.
waypoint and or off ramp to a better system that will deliver better health outcomes, better, and at a bare minimum, like whatever it costs, and it's going to cost a lot less than the system, less by far. You're looking at total cost of delivering healthcare to the country. It's going to cost way less than what we have today.
That's right.
But
That's why.
even cost
Yeah.
aside, you're also going to get cost predictability. Like, you don't have to worry about the assholes in Washington, fighting with each other and having your insurance costs, which doesn't even get you the healthcare. Like, you got to pay that first. So, like, forget about it. All that's done. You're not paying a bunch of premiums and all that stuff, and then having to pay extra for your health care and this deductible and that deductible. You have a very simple system where the vast majority of services are just covered. They're covered. You get your health care. And to the extent that, there's some cost in there, it's going to be minimal, and you're not going to have that situation where right now you're paying $150 deductible and all of a sudden now you're paying an $800